Three, two, one. Welcome, everyone, to the LGBTQ Real Estate Podcast, connecting LGBTQ homebuyers, sellers, and real estate pros since 2007. My name is Jeff Berger. I'm the host of the show, and today with us we have a great guest. Al Block is a realtor in the Detroit metro area. We've been marketing together for some years now. I honestly can't remember. Al is very fond of working with the LGBTQ community. It's near and dear to his heart. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the show, Al.
Thank you, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Here in
Good.
Jupiter, Florida. And I want to make a big shout out. Today is the first day of LGBTQ Pride Month. So it's a special day. It is a special podcast. Okay. And the format of our show is we keep it simple. We know everybody's multitasking. We've got 15 minutes. And the mission of this podcast is to share with the person watching it a little more about real estate in Metro Detroit as an LGBTQ individual or family or couple, and share with you also a great realtor, Al Block, who can assist you with buying or selling a home in the area. So let's start with it. Al, share with us a little bit about yourself, both personally and professionally.
All right. I have been a real estate broker now for 34 years. I've never done anything else. I have been in real estate literally since I was 19 years old. Both my parents passed away at a young age, and I sort of was catapulted into the business. I'm pretty hands-on. Some guys golf. I know a lot about ripping houses apart and everything that goes with that. So I can provide my clients with a lot of perspective in that regard. I am one of the owners of Remax First. We have 8 offices in the Metro Detroit area. And if there's something in real estate, I've likely have done it or have had my hands in it. I have owned a mortgage company in the past. I am involved in title insurance currently, management of our company. My oldest son works for me. So basically clients get 2 for the price of 1. And I do quite a bit of good business. I think I provide technical knowledge because I'm very involved in governance of realtors nationally. Been president of our local association. I'm on the Michigan Realtors Board of Directors currently. I've been a NAR director for the National Association of Realtors, served on that board of directors, federal political coordinator to Congress on behalf of the National Association of Realtors. So I get into the issues, I know the issues, and when it comes to my clients, I hope I provide a lot of technical knowledge that most realtors can't provide.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. You know, most realtors aren't as engaged as you are, and that's pretty impressive. You know, I've been working in the real estate field for about 20 years now myself. I've been to Capitol Hill on those meetings during the NORM mid-years, and it's pretty fantastic, you know, not just, you know, getting involved in helping consumers buy and sell homes, but also get involved in legislation which may interact along the way with homeowners that may not even know the issues, you know, whether it's not litigation, but laws and regulations that pertain to insurance and financing. And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. So thank you for your service. That's really awesome.
Thank you. So I guess what's next? I think I want to discuss our community and our area. I have served. I'm sorry, I'll let you go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. So we've got a format. I'll go along with the next question. Keep it really simple for you.
Okay.
So I know you have many LGBTQ clients. What is it about working with the LGBTQ community that you enjoy so much?
I would say that I don't want to sound coy, but there's differences, but there is no difference in the sense that community wants the same thing everybody does. They want a good house, a good neighborhood. They want to live their life. They want to enjoy private property rights. They don't want to be treated any worse than anybody else. And I think in most cases, I've never had them want to be treated any different. They just want the same things equally. And I would say personally, this is more near and dear to my heart because I'm not going to necessarily say, but someone very close to me, my family, has come out, and I feel even more strongly to make sure that um, the LGBT community and BTQ community and my close family member is protected from any type of differences and treated any different than anybody else in housing.
Well said. I really appreciate that because there really is no difference. You know, LGBTQ customers in housing want the same thing as anybody, and people are people. So I couldn't agree with you more. That's a great answer. And I thank you for being so candid about that. And thank you also for sharing the story about your personal experience with your family.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, so I know you're very passionate. You know, you mentioned before you have multiple Remax offices. You're very engaged in real estate, very engaged in your community. So if someone's watching this and they want to know more about the area that you serve, for example, which is the Detroit suburbs, share with us why you love living in your community. For example, what are your favorite parts of the area, whether it's different towns or different neighborhoods, and a little bit about the arts. What do you love to do, like the great coffee shops, wine bars, maybe the ease of commuting that makes it a great community to live in, schools. What would you say?
So Metro Detroit area is pretty large, and the downtown Detroit area is very popular. Uh, it has become so much better. I grew up in Hamtramck. Hamtramck is basically smack dab in the middle of Detroit, basically surrounded by Detroit. And so growing up in Hamtramck, especially in the 70s and 80s, and even now, the neighborhoods there are some challenges, but the downtown never was like it is now. It is amazing. There's lots to do. There's so many restaurants. There's little parks, areas where you can sit and just enjoy the city. We don't have mass transit like other cities, so getting around, we have extensive highways, so you're going to do it by car most of the time. Of course, there's Uber and all that stuff. So you don't have to necessarily own a car, but very helpful in Detroit, where Motown, where the cars are made, or at least for the most part, years ago. So. Other communities, there's lots of unique downtowns in our suburbs. Milford has become very popular in the western suburbs. Ferndale, Royal Oak. Ferndale's just a popular community, and it's a great community. It's fun. There's a lot of things to do. A lot of the younger people enjoy being there. Very accepting community. And no matter what you look like, who you are, I would say that the areas centered around the Woodward corridor have just seem to be where many have congregated in that regard. So that's just something that is obvious. And and then you have, of course, other parts of Michigan that are more country. Acreage, things of that nature. So within 1 hour of Detroit, you can have almost any type of life and real estate situation you want.
Very nice, very nice. And with that said, the housing stock must be very diverse from downtown condos if you're looking for walkability to single
Mhm.
family homes to more rural, like you said. Tell us a little bit about that. I guess you work with a little bit of everything, right?
I do, and when it comes to walkability, I would say that the one of the best communities for that would be Royal Oak, Ferndale, downtown Detroit, midtown Detroit, southwest Detroit, which is AKA Mexican Town. Um, these areas tend to have high density, and they've have built the housing stock in such a manner that it's very uh, centered from the downtown, and it is especially in those areas that they've built high density housing, whether it be apartments, new condos going up, and of course because people really like living there. Anytime you have demand like that, the prices are higher, fortunately and unfortunately, depending on which side of the closing table you're at when you're buying or selling.
Yeah, well said. And in addition to helping people buy a home, you also list homes for sale. So that's very important also if someone's looking to move, relocate, even move up or move down, downsize, you can help with everything.
I'm technically a licensed appraiser, so I do just naturally have gravitated. I help a lot more sellers, I think, than buyers. But like I said, two for the price of one. My oldest son, Hayden Block, he works with the majority of our buyers, and so we can give great perspective because we fully understand both sides of it. But more so on a value end, I think I have more technical knowledge to provide clients proper pricing and how to deal with the listing side of things, selling side of things.
Well, that's super valuable, especially in an era like this. Prices went up, up, up. Interest rates are rising in the current moment. So there could be a shift. So you need an expert and a professional like yourself to really understand the market, time the market, and take advantage of every opportunity because markets change. So that's really great. I appreciate that. I didn't know you were a licensed appraiser also. So that adds a lot of value. That's a value add for sure. So our next question, okay, LGBTQ individuals and families, that may be moving to the area that may not know that much about it. What would you say, for example, just in general, about the comfortability that people should know about moving to the area? I understand it's a very welcoming and LGBTQ friendly area, but let's hear it from you. You're the local in the area.
Honestly, I think that there are, how would I put this? There are ignorant people everywhere, unfortunately. So I don't think we're exclusively better or worse than anywhere else.
Hmm.
With that said, without I'm very understanding of the laws involved. So not steering to one area or the other. I just feel that you have an situation in Detroit is more and more younger people, different generations have, as time has gone on. I don't think that there should be any fear of not being accepted in Metro Detroit area. I feel that, especially with the legislation that's going on, things that have happened on the NAR level with the Code of Ethics. Uh, I don't see from my side of things. I don't see any difficulties in our area. I haven't heard of it personally, and obviously I am friendly to the LGBT community. I'm not in it. I don't live in it, but like I said, that close family member does, and I feel that I have not heard of any story that there's any problems. He's not having any problems. So that being said, I think that this is a good area to move to. This is not where I would say some areas of the country are very right wing conservative, perhaps politically. I don't see that here. I think people it's enjoy life, live and let live. I have many friends who are in all sides of the political landscape and backgrounds, and never once have I heard a bad word in that regard.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And that's really a fair answer. It's objective, it's real. And, just some inside baseball for someone watching this, what Al was referring to with the code of ethics, for example, and steering, a realtor cannot say where anyone should live based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. So, you wouldn't say, oh, the east part of town is, a great area to live in for the LGBTQ community because that would be considered steering. So you basically have to show all properties, give an objective point of view. And, I think that was a great answer because, it was honest and true. So
Thank you.
that's awesome. And, some history here while we are on Pride Month, it was NAGAREP, an organization that I founded in 2007 that brought forward the NAR change to the Code of Ethics to include sexual orientation and gender identity. We brought forward the proposal in 2008, and sexual orientation got approved in 2011, and it wasn't until 2013 that gender identity got approved, because at first, back then, the National Association of Realtors didn't really understand gender identity all too much. So we had to kind of bring in some LGBTQ nonprofits, the Human Rights Campaign, the LGBTQ Task Force, and we did some educational sessions on gender identity and sexual orientation. Later on, gender identity was included in 2013. So, we've got a Realtor Association, the largest trade organization in the world, that really understands the LGBTQ community and is on the books, on the records, with having a non-discrimination clause. And I think what's exciting is, they're the first organization to put such legislation on their books as a private organization before the federal government put it on the federal fair housing law, because the federal fair housing law still doesn't include sexual orientation and gender identity. So, I think that's important, especially on Pride Month, to add that. That's an interesting fact. So, yeah. Okay. So here we are. I think the person watching this, has a lot of information now about the area, about yourself and your services, in addition to your son that you work together. Great team. So our last question is, okay, besides helping people buy and sell homes and manage your, offices of Remax, when you're not working, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Wow, that's a great question. Sometimes I feel that's real estate's what I do in my spare time too. It's
Yeah.
it's all consuming. I really enjoy spending time with my sons. I have a hobby. I founded and started the Detroit Bourbon Club. And full disclosure, I don't drink that much. I don't promote any type of alcohol abuse or anything of that nature. It's for fun. It's for moderation. It's become big, and it's our 5th anniversary. We're actually having a party next week. It's a Facebook. It's a big Facebook group, but for the most part, we try to at least have one thing a year where we get together for some sort of purpose, whether it's a little meetup for tasting Chattanooga whiskey. They're just coming into Michigan, so these guys kind of reached out to us, and we're doing this nice big tasting event in Warren, Michigan next week. So that's a passion of mine, is bourbon. I own enough bourbon to kill a city, I think, but it's just for fun. It's for collecting, and I really enjoy the taste. So it's just like, maybe I might have a drink, an ounce or two here and there every week. It's not, and of course we're very friendly to anybody and everything that people that join our group, but we do try to keep it to where it's all about the bourbon, and we don't get into any. There's bottle trading and things like that, but we don't get into that in our club.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I recently got into wines in the last couple of years, and we've gone traveling to vineyards and chateaus, and I think the passion that you have is amazing, because don't drink a lot myself either, but it's one of those things. It is like a hobby, like liking fine dining or art, whatever it may be. Taste is super important, and when you can get together with a club that has that in common, I think that's awesome. And if
Yeah,
I'm ever in town, I want to come to a meeting and share a glass of bourbon. I don't drink bourbon, but maybe I would like it. I don't know. I'm
well,
open
we've
to
got some.
trying new things.
We've got. There's a lot of stuff out there that is finished, as we call it, or aged in some wine barrels. So if you like wine, there's stuff that has that tone to it. So for sure, I'd love to meet you.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Al. This has been great. I really appreciate you joining us this morning on the podcast, and wishing you a great summer.
Thank you. You too, as Jeff, as well, and everybody out there.
Great, thanks. And for everyone watching this, wishing an amazing Pride Month. Be happy, stay safe, and we'll see you again on the podcast.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye bye.